At the height of its power, the Roman Empire ruled nearly 60 million people. But beyond emperors and armies existed a hidden world, millions waking each morning inside the most powerful civilization the ancient world had ever seen. In crowded cities, soldiers, merchants, slaves, and senators lived side by side. Power, wealth, and survival intertwined daily. Yet beneath Rome's marble beauty, tension simmered quietly, and life inside the empire was far more dangerous than it appeared. To understand Rome, you must step into its streets. The empire stretched from Britain's cold frontiers to Egypt's scorching deserts, binding distant cultures together under Roman law, Roman roads, and the constant presence of imperial authority. In the heart of the empire stood Rome itself, a city of nearly 1 million people. Towering temples, crowded apartments, roaring arenas, and endless markets created a living machine of ambition, noise, and relentless opportunity. For wealthy citizens, life could be luxurious. Marble villas, private gardens, servants, and lavish feasts filled their days. But for most Romans, survival meant long workdays, crowded housing, and the constant uncertainty of fortune. In towering apartment blocks called insulae, poor families lived packed together above noisy streets. Fires, disease, and collapse were constant threats. And for many citizens, tomorrow's meal was never guaranteed. But the empire kept growing. Rome's power depended on its legions, disciplined soldiers stationed across distant frontiers. From frozen northern forests to desert forts, these men defended the empire while dreaming of land, wealth, and honor promised by Rome. Yet the empire's strength came at a price. Taxes funded armies, temples, and emperors' ambitions. Across villages and cities, ordinary people worked tirelessly to sustain the enormous machine that kept Rome ruling the world. Meanwhile, the empire's cities never slept. Taverns filled with gamblers and travelers, street performers entertained restless crowds. Beneath torchlight and shadows, fortunes were won, lost, and sometimes stolen before sunrise. But danger lurked everywhere. Political conspiracies, riots, fires, and sudden imperial decrees could change lives overnight. Inside the empire, even powerful citizens understood one truth: Rome could reward you greatly, or destroy you without warning. If you enjoy discovering the powerful stories hidden inside history's greatest civilizations, consider subscribing, because the deeper we explore the Roman Empire, the more incredible and dangerous this ancient world becomes. And yet, despite its wealth and glory, cracks were already forming beneath the empire's surface. Political ambition, growing inequality, and restless frontiers threatened Rome's stability. What happened next would shake the entire empire. In the far provinces, tension was rising. Border tribes pushed against Roman defenses, while ambitious generals sought glory that could make or break them. Across the empire, whispers of rebellion and conquest spread through barracks, taverns, and senate halls. Roman legions marched endlessly along stone roads that stretched across continents. Their armor gleamed beneath the sun, symbols of Rome's unmatched discipline. Yet every campaign meant blood, exhaustion, and the terrifying uncertainty of distant battlefields. Meanwhile, inside Rome, political rivalries grew darker. Senators plotted alliances while emperors guarded their thrones with growing paranoia. In the empire's capital, power was not only won in battle, but often in shadows and whispered conspiracies. Riots could erupt without warning. A shortage of grain, an unpopular decree, or a rumor spreading through crowded streets could ignite chaos. In moments, Rome's magnificent forms transformed into violent battlegrounds between desperate citizens and imperial authority. Yet even during turmoil, Roman life continued. Merchants sailed across dangerous seas, traders crossed deserts, and caravans filled the empire's markets with spices, silk, and treasures from lands most Romans would never see. Gladiators entered roaring arenas, knowing thousands watched their every move. Some fought for glory, others for survival. In the Colosseum's thunderous spectacle, violence became entertainment, and the empire celebrated courage, spectacle, and brutal power. But beyond the spectacle, the empire's greatest struggle remained unseen. Corruption spread through politics, wealth concentrated among elites, and distant provinces slowly grew restless beneath Rome's heavy authority. The empire still appeared unstoppable, but change was coming. For centuries, Rome had conquered the world, yet every empire faces the same silent enemy, time. And slowly, almost invisibly, the foundations that once made Rome invincible began to weaken beneath its enormous weight. Still, the legacy of the Roman Empire would shape history for thousands of years. Its laws, roads, language, and architecture became the foundations upon which future civilizations would rise. In many ways, Rome never truly disappeared. Across modern cities, echoes of Rome remain everywhere, from towering government buildings to legal systems and languages spoken by millions. The empire that once ruled the ancient world still quietly influences the modern one. But perhaps the most fascinating question remains the simplest. What was it truly like to live inside the Roman Empire, to wake each morning beneath its power, opportunity, danger, and endless ambition? Because history is not only written by emperors and armies, it is shaped by millions of ordinary lives. And somewhere in the crowded streets of ancient Rome, one of those lives might have looked very much like yours.